easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, we've made it to the finale, the WRL Cup Series finale. It's going to wrap up here in Charlotte, the championship here this evening. In the booth will be Stan Hammond, our resident oval hot shoe. Stan, what are you expecting to see here for the finale? We've got a couple drivers, actually 3 drivers that should be battling it out.
Well, it's one of the free tracks on iRacing, so it shouldn't be too difficult for everybody to get up to speed. Obviously, Jack Humbert's been really, really fast the last several races. I know that he's in a pretty close championship fight, but I'm really looking to see what Jack Humbert can get done tonight.
Yeah, he's in a battle with him and Dalton Moore battling it out. I believe Jonathan Pereira had a shot too as well, but it doesn't look like Pereira in the session here this evening. So it looks like it's just going to come down to a battle between Dalton Moore and Jack Humbert. Humbert, as you mentioned, driver always battling towards the front of this league. Stan,
tight into 3 and over, but this is a track that most everybody should be more familiar with.
Yeah, I was just working with something on the back end here, having a little bit of a network issue for some reason. Not sure what's going on, trying to get it cleared up, but yeah, Stan, it's one of the few oval tracks that I'm somewhat familiar with here, Charlotte. Although I haven't had much luck here, I always seem to get wrecked in the tri-oval section where everybody cuts through the little kink on the front stretch.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's one of the trouble areas on this track too. You know, you'll have everybody coming off of 4, and it's a lot narrower than somewhere like a Texas or an Atlanta or something like that. It really narrows. Think they're holding their lane, doing what they're supposed to do, and you know, people just come together kind of just by the nature of the track. So off of turn 4 is where I would look for a lot of incidents to happen if they're going to happen. But especially on the tri-oval, you know, everybody will have their own. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it should be fewer cars in the session here this evening. Hopefully that means to a lot more green flag running, as it looks like we're only going to have, I believe, 11 cars on track, Stan. So it should make way for the leaders to have some nice racing.
Yeah, I mean, less cars obviously should be beneficial for you know, incidents and that sort of thing, or lack of them. But you know, Depends, right? I mean, we've last several races I've gone restarts as well. The double file, the initial start, and then they'll do a restart. And they'll have some issues, and then go single file. So hopefully, if we can break away from the start without a wreck tonight, we should be in pretty good shape, I'd imagine.
Well, we're going to find out soon, Stan, as we're getting to the tail end of practice. Only about 2.5 minutes to go. Still working on trying to get the connection cleared up over here. So apologize to any of the folks watching live online, working on that, trying to get it cleared up. For some reason, it just doesn't want to cooperate with me, but I think we might finally have it. But look at our championship standings once I load them in. As I mentioned, 3 drivers potentially battling it out for this one, but only 2 out of those 3 are here. So let's take a look at how that's going to shake up. As Dalton Moore is going to come in, leading this one 20 points over Jack Humbert in second place. Jonathan Pereira had a shot, potentially taking the championship in third at 10:42. James Jimmy Johnson, Aiden Andarza pretty much out of it since we come down to one of those 3 drivers. 2 out of the 3 of them in the session here live, Stan. Should also mention we've got confirmation this is the final Cup race that WRL will be hosting. They're just going to stick to IndyCar and GT3 machinery going forward next season. A bunch of drivers have formed up a new league that they'll be supporting next season. It's Tobacco Road Racing. You can find a link to their Discord if you're interested in continuing on with left turn racing in the description of the video. So Tobacco Road Sim Racing, where they got upwards of 20 drivers set up to race next season. We'll be definitely looking for a few more. So if you're interested in left turn racing, like our resident Stan Hammonds, you can find some over there.
I caught the tail end of that. Yeah, man, I can't recommend it enough, guys. Anybody that's out here watching this that thinks they want to go oval racing, leagues tend to be a little bit better than officials just for the quality of racing, especially at the lower I rating, because you're racing with the same guys a lot of the time, and hopefully, like this league, you'll have some reasonable race officiating and that sort of thing. So, can't recommend it enough if you're thinking about getting into any oval racing. A league like this would be a great way to start.
What do you think would be? Do you think the Cup cars are a good car for, say, maybe more of a novice driver to jump into league racing, Stan, or is there something else they really should be looking for as far as the left turn racing?
Well, I would caution them against jumping straight into a Cup car like this. I mean, this is the highest level of oval racing for a reason. These cars are pretty unforgiving. You can't really slide these cars the way you might be able to slide, say, an ARCA car or even a street stock, for example. You break out loose in one of these, and it can turn into a really big wreck in a really short period of time. So, it might be smart to work your way up, right? Maybe you can find a truck league or an ARCA league or something like that, and kind of work your way up into a Cup league. Or just practicing officials, right? You can run unranked races. Carb Cup goes to Charlotte all the time, and you can kind of get a feel for the car there and see if it's really something you want to do. But there's all kinds of good content up and down the oval ladder that would be worth visiting for sure.
There you have it from Stan Hammonds. Find yourself a nice little truck league to get acquainted with the left turn racing. We're just waiting for qualifying to kick off. There looks like our championship contenders here, Stan, getting ready. What do you expect? I know Jack Humbert, we've seen him up towards the front majority of the season. Dalton Moore was strong last week. Unfortunately, Jack Humbert got wrapped up in the early wreck at Talladega. Dalton Moore was able to come home with the win that vaulted him up top of Humbert in the standings. But Humbert's been he's been great on these shorter tracks, Stan.
Yeah, I'm really looking to watch Humbert. I just think back to the Dover race, right, where he led like 99% of the laps or whatever it was that he did. Clearly, he understands how to save your resources, how to save your tires, how to drive this car on a long run without just ruining your late run speed. That's so important at a place like this. I mean, I've Dalton Moore knows what's up too. Obviously, it's a close championship fight, but every time I've watched Jack Humbert, I've been impressed with the way he drives. So unless something unusual happens, I'm going to be keeping an eye on him for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned that he just vaulted himself up to the top of the standings, Stan, with a 29.75. That's going to put him 2/10 ahead of Dalton Moore right now, his championship competitor. So right now, putting himself where he needs to be, just ahead of Dalton Moore. Guy Oliveira, we haven't seen in a number of leagues. He's going to put in a hot lap there now. He's going to drop Dalton Moore down to 4th. So it's still a plenty of time, long race for Dalton Moore to move up top, but definitely he'd want to try and start as close to Jack Humbert as possible. As now Bruce Velasquez putting in a hot lap, going to move Dalton Moore back another spot.
Yeah, I mean, the race is so long, I wouldn't get too wrapped up about the qualifying position, but at the same time, there's a clear difference in speed from Jack Humbert to everybody else in qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to maintain the lead, or if there's something about Charlotte that's harder to save tires for him.
What kind of tire wear do we see at Charlotte normally, Stan? I know a few weeks back at she's at Echo Park in Atlanta. Tire wear was a huge factor in the race. How abrasive is the surface here at Charlotte?
You know, it's not unusually abrasive, right? I mean, it's really pretty standard here, right? It comes down to how you drive the car. It's going to come down to the technique. So if you're sending it off way, way, way deep in the corners, you might burn that right front off and find yourself trending tight as your run goes on. Then again, if you're really, really trying to maximize exit speed and get back to the throttle early, if you're getting a little too early, you might burn the right rear off of it, and then you'll be loose the whole run. So I think loose is better than tight for race cars. And it just depends on how people drive. You know, it's hard not to get caught up racing a guy into a corner and thinking, oh, I'll just go a little bit deeper, right? Well, then you do that and you burn your right front off and you're just dying until the pit stops. So you have to be smart. Don't let yourself get caught racing to the point that you burn up all your stuff and the other guy gets away.
You had me a little worried there, Stan, where you kind of paused there for a minute where we said that.
I know.
When you were comparing how you liked your setup,
yeah, I do prefer for setup purposes. Those are my feelings.
I actually just found this out when I was looking up a little bit of information about Charlotte earlier. I didn't even realize that the ZMAX Dragway, that famous 4-lane drag strip, is actually just across the street from Charlotte Motor Speedway. So little fun fact there for anybody that didn't know. Yeah. I saw some pics earlier this week. I guess they're having a Supercross event there. They had the dirt all down. It was kind of an interesting layout. They had majority of the layout in between the two grandstands on either side of the drag strip. But then the one end of the motocross track actually wrapped in around the grandstands at the one end. It was out at the end of the runoff at the end of the drag strip, came back around, and then looped back into the grandstand section. So be kind of interesting to see if you were at the end of the drag strip where the timing tower or the tree would be. You wouldn't really be able to see much at the other end of the track. Kind of interesting spot to have a Supercross style race.
Yeah, you know, they do it at Daytona every year too. They use like the tri-oval area, but you said it goes up and down through the grandstand area here?
Yeah, so it was, if you ever seen the 4-lane drag strip there. So the majority, they had 2 lanes running up and down where the drag strip is. And then at the far end where the runoff would be, it kind of wrapped around the grandstand that would be on the right-hand side. I guess you're looking down for it. Wrapped around, came back. So half the track wasn't even between the 2 grandstands. So it was kind of interesting where you would really try and pick a seat to see something. Because if you're at the one end, you're only really going to see a couple corners.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I've not seen that before.
But qualifying's over. Let's take a look at our results. Jack Humbert going to put himself in top spot just ahead of Brad Harris. Bruce Velasquez in third with Guy Oliveira in fourth. David Walker in fifth. Dalton Moore going to start in sixth. He's got some work ahead of him. Staying to get up ahead of Jack Humbert. Aiden Andarza in seventh. Scotty Lanning going to start in eighth. Grady Mooney in ninth. Gordon Herring in 10th. Michael Peden, that's a new name, in 11th. And Noah Jones going to start in 12th. 12-car grid here this evening.
Yeah, you know, 12 cars, I mean, it seems like a small number. Obviously, you want to see slammed full fields, but 12 cars isn't nothing. You know, there's plenty of competition out there in a 12-car field, so this should, assuming everybody keeps it together here for the first few laps and everybody can kind of just settle into their race, this should work out pretty well, I hope.
If anything, the more green flag running, the better. So we had a few races where cautions just seemed to breed cautions, breeding cautions. And I mentioned there was cautions. So hopefully we have a lot more green flag running here this evening. But Jack Humbert, Brad Harris going to lead them around. We got the old Mustang FRS pace car out there tonight. They need to give us a dark horse updated pace car stand. Now that we have the GT4 Mustang.
Yeah, I mean we've got the model in game now, so hopefully we'll get some more content with that.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the next cars we're going to see. My guess is the hypercars will be coming to the service. Actually, the Aston Martin hypercar will be coming to the service, but we'll see here. Maybe the dark horse spec machine will come, but pace car off. We're going to go green here for 100 laps at Charlotte. Or sorry, 115 laps in the World 100 at Charlotte. They always trick me with the naming here.
A clean start. Look at that. Way to go, guys. Proud of you.
Championship contender Jack Humbert going to lead them into turn 1 and 2. Bruce Velasquez going to pop ahead of Brad Harris. Harris going to fall down to third place. Dalton Moore, though, up 2 spots early on here, so we'll see if he's able to keep moving forward. But already a break here stand between Velasquez and Harris. 2 packs starting up pretty early.
Yeah, and honestly, that's really what we want to see here. I mean, everybody just kind of settle into their race, run their pace, you know, fight it out to the end here. There should be there'll definitely be a pit stop at some point during the race, but for everybody to break away and keep it clean for the first lap or two here is very nice. Well done.
Let's have a look back here from Jack Humbert. Looks like he's starting to leg out a nice gap here already. He stands 6/10 over Bruce Velasquez. Velasquez kind of leading that secondary pack. So we'll see if they can kind of chase back in. Is there a real advantage to staying in a pack stand versus trying to get out front here at Charlotte? How strong is the draft?
The draft is going to do almost nothing for you. Clean air is going to be key. So Jack Humbert's really in an advantageous position. He's not having any other cars affecting the way that his drives. No loss of downforce or anything like that. Everybody behind him is going to be dealing with it to some degree as Dalton Moore makes a big pass for third here with a big run on Velasquez here going into 1. Trying to make up some time and stay close to Humbert. These 2 is inside here. He'll get this position into 3, or he should anyway.
They got close there. I thought they were going to touch, but Lightning McQueen stand moving up into second place. Dalton Moore looking for a little bit of McQueen speed here this evening with the the Kachow.
Yeah, Velasquez is fighting for it, though. He's staying to his outside here. All this is just allowing Jack Humbert to build up a bigger lead. So, honestly, with where Dalton Moore has come from, because he started, where did he start again? 5th or 6th or something?
6th place, yeah.
Yeah, he's made up all these spots. If I were Bruce, I'd probably just let this go and let him lead me up there to Jack, because Jack can do one of 2 things right now. He can either keep stretching his lead, or he can look back and see this fight and decide to back off a little bit and save even more tire. So these 2 guys running side by side for so many laps in a row is only helping Jack. So they need to decide: are they gonna who's gonna yield? Somebody needs to, because this is not going to be sustainable or helpful for either of them in the long run.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either one wants to give any quarter. Dalton Moore probably just begging and pleading right now, trying to offer some cash maybe to Bruce Velasquez to drop back.
Yeah, that's how he hit the apron right there. He was looking for his Venmo. He He got a little bit loose there in turn 4 as he settles back in here behind Bruce. Honestly, for Dalton, that's not a bad call. If Bruce isn't going to let you by. Oh, Bruce gets way tight up off of 2. Dalton's going to get the move done right here. And now we'll get an idea of what kind of pace he's got.
Yeah, I wonder if he was holding back in his qualifying run here, Stan, but 1.5 seconds now up the track is Jack Humbert, as you mentioned, easily able to save his equipment up there. But we got a battle here a little farther back. David Walker trying to make the move underneath Scotty Lanning, trying to fight back on the top side here.
Oh, Lanning just touches the wall out of 2 there, but somehow stays in front of Walker. Everybody's kind of settling into the pace now, right? I mean, we're coming up on about 10% of the race done here, and it's really kind of flown by. It's amazing what kind of racing you can get when you aren't wrecking every other lap.
Yeah, it's, you know, I thought when that one team got removed from the league, it might make things a little, I'd say, less caution-filled, as they always seem to be in and around a lot of the incidents, and it's been a little cleaner since then. So interesting, as you mentioned, you get a little cleaner racing, a little more enjoyable. We saw Aiden Andarza kind of just get a little checkup on the left quarter of David Walker. Walker was able to gather back up, then heard Andarza quickly onto the mics saying, sorry about that, it was just a little bit of an incident, pushed a little higher, didn't mean anything by it, and everybody was able to keep going. Believe it or not, Stan, lap 10, no cautions.
Yeah, you love to see it, man. This is a nice little race we've got going here. Jack Humbert still looks like he's maintaining, let's see here, about a 1.3 second lead last time by. We'll see when he crosses the line here. If Dalton's making, yeah, I mean, he's really just kind of maintaining the pace down to about 1.2. Looks like everybody's just trying to be smart. You know, it'd be cool. What we haven't seen in this series is green flag pit stops. If you can actually make it all the way to the pit cycle under green, then that'll change a lot of stuff up. Because getting on and off the pit road can be so difficult, and it's that can really change the race for somebody.
Now, I'm wondering, I didn't see if anything happened to Bruce Velasquez, but he's fallen back, Stan, since Dalton Moore got around him. He's back into 6th place now as we follow on with him. He's trying to make his way around Scotty Lanning. I wonder if that's just maybe potentially trying to save some equipment, or if something happened. I'm not seeing anything on my timing and scoring here flag him for maybe a spin or a slide or anything. So I'm just wondering if maybe it's just a conservation effort here, or if he got loose and had to collect the car.
Yeah, you know, honestly, to me, it has the appearance of getting your tires too hot. I think he was really, really trying to get 110% out of his car, and probably was just asking for too much. You can back it off and cool everything back off, and it'll start to drive a little bit better. But he was driving in hard around the outside, around Dalton underneath of him, and that is not nice to your right side tires, especially your right front. So I'm sure his car feels like it's not driving very good right now. If he takes it easy, it'll probably come back to him a little bit, but all that fighting might have been a little bit too much to ask out of that car that early.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to cool them down, as you mentioned, get back into the battle. But up front, Dalton Moore, Brad Harris, the chase pack here, trying to chase in Jack Humbert. Humbert holding steady, stand about 1.6 seconds ahead. We've seen him close to about 2 seconds at the top end, but I think he's just trying to put in a comfortable pace, as you mentioned right now, trying to conserve whatever he's got under him. Let those two guys in behind battle if they're thinking about battling. I'm wondering if maybe they might be able to link up here and chase back in Humbert.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I'm just looking at lap times right now, and it looks like we've got about a second of fall off. Jack Humbert's fastest lap was lap 2 at a 29.6. He just ran a 30.4, so almost a second of fall off. To go back to, where's he at now? There's Dalton. Yeah, 29.6 and a 30.5. So Dalton's fallen off about a tenth more in his lap times. As wow, third place gets a big run and decides not to take it here. That was a good call as we're watching. I'm sorry, I must have missed something happening a little further back.
No, yeah, we were watching the battle between Landing and Darza, Velasquez, and Walker, and Landing got up and just kind of gave the wall a little bit of kiss, get some damage on that right front now, but he was able to, again, gather it up, keep going, and only lost a little bit of time here, but we're still green.
Sometimes I just like to check and see that the wall's where I left it, you know? I do that fairly often myself.
Maybe if you can move it a couple millimeters or so, you might pick up an extra tenth or two.
Boy, I've tried. Yeah. Boy, I've tried.
So we saw Brad Harris try the top side. Now he's trying the bottom side here, Stan. Is there a progression here at Charlotte where you would run maybe the bottom to start or middle to start and then work to the top, or start at the top, work your way down to the bottom as the race goes on? Or is it a track that the lanes stay fairly steady throughout the race?
No, actually, that's a great question. So in 1 and 2, the fastest way around the track is actually like the second or third lane. Not all the way up by the wall, but kind of where the 9 cars running there. That is the fast way. That's going to be the hardest on your tires, but you're going to make the best lap time doing that. 3 and 4, man, the bottom is you can run the top. It does make for a little bit better exit because you can get really, really tied up off the bottom of 4. But I feel like for tire management, a lot of guys just run it a little bit slower around the bottom at 3 and 4. It's diminishing returns going high. I mean, you might go a little faster, but you're just going to burn your stuff off really bad. Once you actually get a little bit of wear on the tires, generally you're just kind of hot lapping and running the bottom at a pace that will keep the car pointed in the direction you want it to go. That's going to be the fastest way with worn out tires, which is what Dalton's doing right now. But if let's see, if I jump up to Jack here, let's see what he's doing. See, he's just full tire save mode. He goes down to the bottom and he's just coasting, man. He's just chilling, saving his tires, not working them hard at all, and still running away from the guys. I bet in 3 and 4 he'll go bottom too. Just give it a nice, easy, respectable pace. Yeah, just like that. I mean, Jack's running a great race right now. You know, we're starting lap 22 here. No yellows yet. I mean, this is what he's good at. When we had that long run at Dover, he just gapped the whole field like this. So he's putting on another show today. Do we know the math? I have to check the point standings. Is there
20 points between them, but I can't remember offhand what the points dole is for each position. I'd have to look through and see. But Humbert and Moore are the championship contenders here, as Pereira is not in the session. So it's going to come down to them. So essentially, whoever finishes ahead of the other one, I think, is going to take the championship.
Well, that's just the way we like it. It's whoever finishes first wins, right?
I had noticed something when we were on board with Dalton Moore, and then when we jumped up to Jack Humbert. I don't know, I'll go back on board here with Dalton Moore. It looks like he's shifting into 5th a lot sooner than Jack Humbert is, maybe even short shifting a little bit. We'll stay on board here with Dalton Moore as he heads down the front stretch.
Yeah, everybody just kind of settled into their race. I mean, this is quintessential oval racing right here. This is what you would expect to see. Everybody just managing their stuff. And there's still good battles going on in the back. I mean, Bruce and David are back there fighting pretty good. Where's old Scotty? Scotty's dropped back a little bit. Grady's trying to get that spot. I mean, we've got good action through the field.
Yeah, Scotty, sure if he maybe towed in or towed out his right front when he kind of grazed the wall a little bit there, but he's fallen back off that pack that he was with at the time, Stan. But as you mentioned, Grady Mooney trying to make the move down the bottom here now, take that spot away from Scotty Landing.
Oh my gosh, he looked like he was going to run into him there. Wow. Right when we cut away, I thought, oh boy, those cars are fixing to hit.
That's just how they play that, Stan, just like that. Bruce Velasquez, I keep having to do a double take. His paint scheme he's running there tonight, Stan, looks eerily familiar to one of the paint schemes you painted up for my Cup car too as well, with the black, red, and white.
I was thinking that, yeah, that does look a lot like that.
I mentioned that Velasquez a little rub of the wall. That's going to cost him some time. David Walker getting a nice run on him. Let's see if he's able to make the move here as they head into, I believe that's turn 4. Oh, Walker going to rub the wall too as well. Dalton Moore, since Brad Harris got around him, he's fallen back now. Guy Oliveira catching up to him. So I'm wondering again, Stan, maybe this is, as I mentioned, looked like Moore was shifting early into 5th. About 2 lights before it got into full RPM rev range in 4th, he was shifting into 5th. So I wonder if he's trying to save a little bit of fuel here, trying that strategy, if he potentially thinks or might go into green flag pit stops here.
Yeah, that could be another way to do it. Honestly, you're never going to, like, undercuts don't work in NASCAR. Or rather, overcuts don't work in NASCAR, I should say, because the time you lose on old tires is just so massive compared to a guy who comes out of the pits. What will save you time is if you just have to put less fuel in the car to make it at your pit stop. That is a huge advantage. So if you can save some fuel and actually, you know, take your fuel down to maybe a gallon or 2 less needing to be put in than the next guy, then that can make a big difference for you. But saving fuel in the name of running longer is never going to work at a track like this, especially.
So we have a little bit of research done by Blake Nance in chat. He says, Dalton Moore wins if he finishes 2nd or better. He wins if he finishes 3rd or 4th if Humbert doesn't win. He can win if he finishes 4th if Humbert doesn't finish higher than 3rd. So essentially whoever finishes first pretty much wins, but if Dalton Moore wins, if Jack Humbert wins, Dalton Moore has to finish, I guess, 3rd or better to still win the championship. So,
okay, that's good to know.
Right now, it looks like it's Jack Humbert's to have, as Dalton Moore sitting in 4th place, but getting a little bit of tow from Guy Oliveira. But as you mentioned, potentially this is a fuel-saving strategy here. As Jack Humbert out front, nobody to draft with for him, but he can lift a little bit earlier into the corners and try and save a little fuel that way.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I mean, Jack's doing a great job managing the race, managing the pace, but Dalton may be cooking something up here. If all he's got to do is finish 3rd, then maybe that's the goal, right? Maybe the goal isn't necessarily to beat Jack, but just be in position to where the math works in your favor. And right now, he could very well do that with some good pit strategy.
Yeah, you can't win if you don't get to the checkers, right? So I guess goal 1, right. Stay out of trouble, make it to the checkered flag, and then see how things unfold once you get to that point. Looks like Gordon Herring into the pits here now. So we got our first driver in for green flag stops. That's going to put him 2 laps down. So that's the extent of a pit stop. 56 seconds in and out of pit lane, 21 seconds in his stall stand. Is that roughly accurate for a pit stop here at Charlotte, or was that a little longer stop for him?
No, that seems, I'm sorry, say it again when you cut out on me a little bit, what the time
56 seconds cone to cone, 21 seconds in his stall.
21 seconds is a long stop. I don't know what, he might have been needing to fix some damage or something, but...
For tires too, though?
Yeah, even for tires, 21 seconds is a long time. I would expect something more like 12. Oh, gosh, Dalton Moore just tagged the wall off of 4 there. Aiden Ondarza goes around him. Dalton's car must not be driving very good. Boy, he's going to have to find something here, because right now, ball's in Jack's court for sure.
Let's take another look here. What happened there from Aiden Ondarza's onboard. Just ran up the wall. Oof. That was a heavy hit. Heavy hit for our championship leader, Dalton Moore. It's going to hold him into 5th place, though, but he is probably a driver, Stan, that would love to see a yellow flag come out right now and not go into green flag stops.
Yeah, boy. A yellow flag would be huge for Dalton right now, and for Aiden, for that matter. Pretty much for everybody that's not Jack, a yellow flag would be a massive advantage. For Jack, it would be kind of a bummer, but everybody else will obviously.
I didn't check and see what time of the day this race was at in Sim, but it's getting dark out there. I wonder if we're going to finish under the lights potentially as we see on board here with Bruce Velasquez, Scotty Lanning, the iFly machine trying to look up the outside. Velasquez is going to keep that covered off in your Coca-Cola machine stand. So
Yeah,
Velasquez
buddy.
representing the hometown brand here, our
I'm
fan
drinking
favorite.
Coca-Cola right now.
I got my bottle right in front of me too as well. So we're very pro Coke in this broadcast.
Pro Coca-Cola. Pro Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I should mention pro Coca-Cola.
But yeah, to your point about the time of day, okay, let's see. It's Dalton Moore to pit road now. Oh my gosh, he locked it up big getting into pit road. Hopefully he doesn't get a penalty there. He had a huge lockup getting into the pits. Yeah, the race will finish in the dark, it looks like, because we're, a little over a quarter of the way through the race, and it's going to be, 8:30, 9 o'clock. It'll be nice and dark. Lights will be on by the time race is over, so.
All right, so Dalton Moore blinked first. If you're Jack Humbert, Stan, do you react fairly quickly knowing Moore had fallen all the way back to 5th or 6th here, or are you just going to stay with your game plan?
I stay with my game plan. If I'm watching the other guys struggle and what I'm doing is working out great, I'm not changing it. Jack just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Dalton leaving the pits now. He'll be able to make some lap time here, but he is going to be a lap down until Jack decides to pit, probably. I don't know if fresh tires, if the pace is even going to be enough to catch up Jack and get his lap back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Actually, well, we know he had a little bit of damage from that wall hit, so I'm not sure how much they would have been able to repair that while he was in the pits, or how severe it was, so that might be a factor too as well.
Yeah, it didn't look like he stayed any extra time to take repairs or anything, so I'm going to guess it wasn't that bad. Generally, you can get away with it if you've got less than 12 and a half seconds, then it's not really affecting your performance. If he had damage and it said less than 12, then he may have decided to just go on and hope for a yellow, fix it later, but it really shouldn't be hurting him too bad if that's all it was.
And having a look at Dalton Moore's pit stop time, as you mentioned, 15 seconds his time in the box, so you're pretty close there, Stan. I think you said 13, 14 seconds, so you more or less nailed it. But Bruce Velasquez has come in for his stop too as well, so we're seeing more and more drivers come in for green flag stops. Velasquez going to come out of, I believe he's in 4th place when he ducked in, as the looks like the lights have kicked on now. We got a little more brightness on the track. Jack Humbert's still leading the way as he has since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, I'm looking at Jack's lap times here, and he is just running so consistent, mid-30s, just rock steady on his lap times. So he's got no reason to pit anytime soon. If he's maintaining this pace, this is going to be a one-stop race for him for sure. Can't say the same for the other guys pitting that early. I mean, it's going to be, they might make it. I think a fuel run here is something like 80 laps. So, I mean, depends on what they're saving. They might be able to make it. But Jack is showing everybody how to do it right now.
Yeah, we found out last time you were in the booth here, Stan. We talked to Jack after the race and found out that he doesn't really do any officials, just kind of does time trials all week to get ready for the race. It's interesting. I haven't heard anybody really doing time trials as a strategy. I can guess you can get some safety rating out of that too as well. But usually it's guys will jump into official sessions and push from there. But I guess the time trial aspect is an interesting one. I might have to try that myself.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, time trials are great if you're trying to get above a certain safety rating threshold, but you finish a race and you're at 1.99 or 2.99 or something, and you don't want to risk losing it all in an official race. You can just go run a time trial for 10 laps and get that 0.1 pretty easily. Yeah, he's
4.81 safety rating coming into this race, so no doubt those time trials definitely an advantage to him getting that safety rating up. Brad Harris holding steady, about 4.8 seconds back behind Humbert. It's kind of stalled out here once Humbert got out to that 4-second lead as Harris and Moore were battling. He's been able to hold on to that. Guy Oliveira himself up into 3rd place, up one spot on the day. Aiden Andarza been working his way through the field. A couple of those positions due to pit stops, but up 3 spots in the day.
Yeah, good run for Aiden. Aiden's, at least in the races that I've been around for the broadcast, forecast. Aiden's had some pretty lousy luck with the wrecks, so it's nice to see him having a good run.
And the Scrub Daddy machine hopefully scrubbed off any bad luck from weeks past here.
I was starting to say he needed a new paint job. Maybe that's what it was, but he's been pretty good.
And he's starting to get chased down here by David Walker in the University of Kentucky paint scheme. The Go Big Blue on the side. Walker been up and down the standings here so far in this one. He's been battling with Ondarza for the majority of the race. Ondarza has his took his cap away from him right now. See if Walker can chase him back down with Grady Mooney in for his pit service too as well. So about half the field now, Stan, has come in for service.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see all the different strategies everybody's trying to go with here. Really, really big split. Everybody's kind of got their own idea. Right now, just for everybody keeping track at home, Dalton Moore is a lap down, running half a second faster than Jack Humbert, who is the first car behind him. Right now, Dalton Moore's pulling away, but it's something's going to have to happen. Something's going to have to dramatically change and alter the course of this race for Dalton Moore to get back in position to win the championship.
Yeah, it looks like Dalton, as he came into pit on, check here, pit on lap 36. So you can see how quickly the tires are falling off there, Stan. Is lap 42, 29.8, lap 43, a 30 flat, 44 was a 30.1, 30.2, quickly going off here. So it looks like if Moore was going to really push, this is the time to do it. Is once those tires equalize, he's going to have a harder time to try and close that gap on Jack Humbert up ahead, because he's going to have some fresh rubber.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, they had a second of fall off, roughly, about a second and a half now from the beginning of the race. But for Dalton Moore to only be within half a second of the lap time is, man, that's... Jack has found something. He's figured it out for sure.
He's going to come by and put in a 30.82. And Dalton Moore last time 30.41, so 4/10 quicker. But I think, as you mentioned, he's going to run out of time to try and close that gap. Because once Humber gets in with that fresh rubber, I suspect he's going to put in the at least a half dozen or so sub 30-second lap time stand. He'll open that gap right back up over Moore.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And honestly, I mean, Jack, what he can do here, I mean, the lap times have stayed. I mean, he just ran a 30.67, so he's really, really putting in great time. He could try to pit right at halfway, which would be here in about 5 or 6 laps. But honestly, with the lap time and how little it's falling off for him, I might just run it out to the end of the fuel cycle. And then he'll just have fresher tires later if it does go green.
Had a quick replay there of what happens between Grady Mooney and Aiden Ondarza. They got together heading out of turn 4. Surprisingly, no yellow flag off that one. We're going to keep going green. So I thought maybe the yellow would fly, close things up a little bit here, but looks like we're going to continue on green.
Yeah,
see if we can take another look here at what happened there. So Mooney looks like he got around Walker. Just looked like a matter of he was kind of there. Ondarza came down a little bit, and they just touched enough where they both went around.
Yeah, I think, honestly, to me, it looks like a misjudgment from Grady Moody. I think he was trying to slot in between Ondarza and Walker and just misjudged it and grabbed Aiden's left rear tail light there and turned him around. At least that's kind of the way it looks at first glance here.
I think you're right, Stan.
You know, I mean, Ondarza also did just barely touch the wall. He might have faded that low a little bit, but I don't know that would have been enough to... Oh, we've got a caution.
Oh, looks like Gordon Herring has crashed here. Let's see what happened to him.
Oh, no. Yeah, just slaps the wall coming out of 4 and tries to catch it, catches a little air. trying to keep it pointed straight. And, man.
All right, it's going to get interesting now, Stan.
Yeah, so
Humbert hasn't pit.
Humbert has not pit. Humbert currently, let me look at the stats here. There's 3 cars on the lead lap. Dalton Moore, as many laps as he's run, he'd probably want to pit again, but he can't. He needs to take the wave around. This is honestly a great break for Jack in terms of the championship, but unfortunate for Dalton. Dalton is not going to be able to pit if he wants to get his lap back.
Yeah, he's unfortunately as well not the first car a lap down. That goes to Brad Harris.
Well, we know Jack's going to pit. I mean, it's right at halfway for him, so all he needs to do is put in another run like he did for the first run, and he'll win the championship. Like I said, if Dalton needs to finish 3rd,
It's essentially, I guess he just needs to get around. Well, I guess no. David Walker's going to be in 3rd. He'll be a lap up. So yeah, it's going to be tough. Brad Harris is going to get himself back on the lead lap. Fortunately for Dalton Moore, that's still only going to put him in 5th place. So he's going to be about 2 spots shy of walking out of this one with the championship. But you know, once we go green with the cars bunched up, you never know what's going to happen, right?
There's a lot of time. There's a lot of stuff that could happen. The other thing too, with these guys actually having a bunch of laps on their tires now, I mean, who knows what's going to happen on this restart, right? There's been some issues getting restarts clean. And we could see more. It could happen. It'll be really interesting to watch. But it'll end up with 5 cars on the lead lap when we go back green from the looks of it.
So we got Blake Nance in chat saying he mentioned his betting luck weeks back, why he wouldn't give credit to Dalton Moore or call Dalton Moore as the winner. He curses the drivers when he does. But so you get placing a bet on Jack Humbert to throw some bad luck his way to see if Dalton can get back up in the battle. So I'll have to keep an eye on that, see how it works out. But right now, Blake Nance going to throw his betting prowess behind Jack Humbert coming home with the win.
Yeah, it's, you know, like I said, stranger things, right? I mean, this could happen, but the open doorways, the open paths that Dalton Moore can take, those doors are closing with every lap that passes.
So the pace car lights should go out this time by, and then we'll be green for, looks like we're going to go back green at lap 59. It's going to give us, what, about 56 lap run here, Stan, so we're just past the halfway mark. Humbert looking strong, hard to bet against him right now up front. You think he pushes the envelope here, trying to open that gap back up again, or just going to take what comes to him?
Say it again, Rob. I'm sorry. You broke up.
Humbert, we've seen how strong he's been all race up front. We're just past the halfway mark. Do you think he tries to open that gap back up early that he had, or are you just going to take what comes to him right now?
Yeah, he's absolutely going to try and open it back up, and he's going to be successful. I mean, nobody has the pace that he's got right now. Dalton Moore's on older tires. He can't make any ground up to him. He just needs to do exactly what he did early in the run. The sun's gone down. It's dark. Track's going to be a little bit cooler. Should drive a little bit better. Yeah, it's going to be, man. It's Jack Humbert's to lose. He's doing everything he's supposed to do right now. So,
yeah, it looks like the track temp's still fairly warm, 80 degrees. I had a look earlier before we came up. It was, I believe, 90 degrees in the sun earlier, so it's cooled off a little bit. There's still a fair bit of temp in the track.
Yeah, 10 degrees is going to feel very different, though, as we're back green here. And, yeah, Jack already has opened up just a huge lead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard somebody on the radio. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of consternation there about whether they were going green or not, but we're back running. Dalton Moore got himself into 4th place. from what we're told, he needs one more spot. So he'd love to see another quick caution come out here quick so he can get that lucky dog himself back on the lead. Actually, looks like he got, not sure if he got a wave around or not. Stan, I'm actually showing Dalton Moore on the lead lap.
Get the wave. He's up into 4th now. He just passed. Oh no, Velasquez is still a lap down. So Walker's the other lead lap car. He's got to get past Brad Harris in that Napa car. Brad Harris is standing between him and a championship right now.
Yeah, as Harris and Oliveira are battling, that's exactly what Walker wants to see. Or sorry, Moore wants to see him behind. Is that'll allow him to try and chase up to those two, potentially get around them. He needs a little Lightning McQueen Kachow action right now to get himself up there. It looks like Oliveira and Harris starting to pull away from him. Harris actually battling with, I believe that's Scotty Landing, the 28 lap down, got himself in between Brad Harris and Dalton Moore, a little bit of a buffer car. So we'll see if
right now, Scotty Lanning is 2 laps down. He's not really fighting for anything here. He's just running his race, looking smart. Bruce Velasquez is the first car lap down. Should we get another yellow, he'll get a free lap back. But Scotty Lanning is, what position is he in? He's in 7th, and he's 2 laps down as we stand right now.
And a look back here from Jack Humbert's rear window. Oliveira not too far back, keeping pace with Humbert so far. Only 6/10 between them. Brad Harris another 6/10 back too as well. So Humbert so far, Stan, hasn't been able to open himself up that gap again. Now I wonder if he's I think maybe we're just gonna go green to the end, try and save a little bit of tire here in case he needs it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, right now that seems to be working pretty well for him. He's just running his pace. He just doesn't even look like he's pushing. It looks like he's just running the same pace he's run the whole race, and nobody has anything for it from where we stand right now.
Last time by, Humbert with 29.92, Oliveira 29.97, Harris with a 29.82, Dalton Moore 30.2. So it's like Dalton going to have to try and look for a little bit of help potentially from Harris or Oliveira to get another spot back. Otherwise, it looks like this championship is going to be Jack Humbert's to have. As we got Harris now running up the top side of Oliveira. So you never know what may happen amongst these two drivers, Stan. It may work out into Dalton Moore's favor here yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of fighting to be done here. Those guys are racing for position. You never know what could happen. They could take themselves out, but these guys have been doing this. They're running 2nd and 3rd in this race for a reason. They know what they're doing. Hopefully everybody just decides to be cool and not impact championship race.
It looks like Harris right now kind of content to follow around behind Oliveira. He tried the high lines down to the low line now with Oliveira. It looks like he got a nice run coming out of turn 4, really closed up on the back of Oliveira. See if he thinks about making a move into turn 1. We'll try the top side again. So there, as you mentioned, Stan, we're a little bit through the top of 1 and 2 and trying the bottom through 3 and 4.
He's going to have a run here into 3. He's showing him his nose. He's going to give it a shot here. Brad Harris to the inside, making a run at it. Now, Oliveira can hold it on the top, but that is just using a lot of tire to do that.
There's a nice setup there by Brad Harris. You saw it starting from the lap before where he worked him on the top side, worked him on the bottom side, set him up to go to the bottom in the 3 and 4. Looks like he's finally going to make that pass official on the back stretch.
Yep, he moves up into 2nd. Everybody stayed cool. Nice work, guys. Dalton Moore, unfortunately, just reviewing the lap times here. He got caught up in a pack of cars as he tags the wall out of 4 there. Big battle going on here. This is not helping him at all. Lap times are starting to suffer. Tires are starting to suffer. It's
Man, we're just about 45 to go here in the race, and the windows continue to close for Dalton Moore.
The guy who's trying to walk through the front door, though, Stan, Jack Humbert. Got himself a nice 1.2 second gap now over Brad Harris. Got Harris out of his draft. Harris was able to clear Oliveira, but hasn't been able to run away from him. Scotty Landing, though, hats off to him. Lap down, he's been hanging with the second and third place car up there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty impressed with Scotty's pace. He's holding pretty steady with him here, and it's just a bummer that he ended up 2 laps down. I mean, you know, if he could stay on the lead lap, then that would be, you know, he'd be up there in the top 5, having a great race. But unfortunately, however things cycled out that put him 2 laps down, it's tough to come back from. Even though he's sitting there running pace with the leaders, it's like when you wreck and you get your car fixed and you come out and it's like, dang, if I hadn't wrecked, I'd be leading, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is just such
I hate to say it, but that's kind of the luck we've seen for Scotty all season. I think it was the first race we did of WRL, or I'm trying to remember where it was. I think that was the Atlanta race. It seemed to be every time he wanted to pit, by the time he came around, pit lane was closed. He just ended up getting cycled back a lap or two, having to come in and get his service done when pit lane was closed. So it looks like more of the same luck, unfortunately, here for Scotty Landing here tonight. Is Guy Oliveira? We haven't seen him for a number of weeks. He's been back. He's got some pace. He allowed Harris to get around him. He's been able to hang with them. These two drivers, not really forcing the issue amongst the two of them. What's the odds, Stan, that they could kind of close that gap on Humbert up ahead?
Well, right now, we've got Jack Humbert running 30-30s. That was the last lap he put in, or 30-34 rather. We got Brad Harris. He ran a 30-25. He actually ran a faster lap than Jack Humbert that time. Both of the second and third place cars are running about half a tenth faster. However, I can't help but think that Jack is just managing the pace. We know if these guys start to close in on him, well, we think if they start to close in on him, he'll just stretch it back out again. But Jack's got no reason to push any harder than he's pushing and risk it, right? Like, he can just maintain his pace here and maintain the gap and be fine. He doesn't need to win by 10 seconds. He can win by just enough and save his stuff in doing it.
I think at this point, Stan, with Moore in 5th, I think Humbert could actually even finish in 2nd and still take the championship. So, yeah, as you mentioned, no real reason for him to push here, even if Harris did catch him and get around him. Coming home 2nd would probably be enough to take home the championship. But you mentioned possibly saving some stuff. That gap got down to about 1.1 seconds. And then we quickly see Humbert eke that back up now to 1.4 seconds. So, as you mentioned, he might have been just saving a little bit of stuff there, saw that gap closing and thought, I need to open that back up again.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's really starting to look like Jack Humbert knows what he's doing out here, doesn't it?
Well, I'm going to tip my cap to him. We say in league racing that iRating generally isn't a solid indicator of the pace of a driver in leagues, because you get a lot of guys that just specialize in leagues. They don't really have time for officials, nor do they want to have officials. They don't like getting wrecked out by random guys every week. Jack Humbert, one of those guys, kind of focuses on league racing. 1.2K iRating ahead of a 2.1K guy now, 2.3 in Oliveira, 2.1 in Harris. He's been leading the way through this race. Majority of the races we've broadcast, Humbert's either been at the front or at the front when something's happened to him. So showing that iRating, not necessarily a strong indication of driver skill. Jack Humbert, as you've said to him in the past, Stan, could probably easily win a second split or higher race in officials.
Well, you have to wonder, right? I mean, he's this much faster than all these guys. You jump into some officials and give it a week, right? And who knows where his iRating ends up. I think his iRating is double check here on the timing. It says Jack Humbert, 12:77, which is, I think, generally considered a pretty low I rating. He does not drive like a 12:77 driver. He drives more like a guy that should be in 4K, 5K splits. And I say that as somebody who is in those splits on the oval side. I mean, he's that good. You know, you hope you race with guys like Jack Humbert that just run a clean race and maybe you can learn something from following him around. And if he actually went out and ran some officials, I don't think his I rating is a real indicator of how good he really is.
Yeah, no, we've the performances we've seen definitely suggest that 2 to 3 times at least, at a minimum, he should be ranked a little higher. But looks like Dalton Moore came into pit road again, stand for some more service. So the race going from bad to worse here for Dalton Moore.
Yeah, making another stop. Not sure if it's because he needed tires or fuel or if anything happened before he went into the pits, but unfortunately the race is just not gone the way he would hope.
Looks like maybe a spin coming out of pit road too as well here. He's going to get on the grass, collects it back up, but yeah, not the finale that Dalton Moore was probably envisioning when he logged into the session here tonight.
Yeah, well, and I got to give it to Dalton Moore too. You know, when you get loose exiting the pits, it's a really bumpy pit exit down there. A lot of guys in a championship battle might have just let the car spin and let the yellow come out, hoping that it helps them. But that was very, very cool of Dalton to not do that, just to gather it up and let the race play out. He has joined back up right behind Jack, so Jack would be smart to probably just let him go here. Dalton's going to be on way fresher tires, probably be way faster. If he can give
if you were Dalton, would you give him the chrome horn right now, Stan?
Oh, man. Not if I wanted to live with myself, but
I would do it.
It looks like they've stepped the pace up a little bit here, though, honestly. I don't know. Man. I mean, the gap's kind of closing up to second and third here, too. Dalton's just staying right behind Jack. I will admit I'm a little confused why Dalton... Jack should just let him go. Jack stepped the pace up a lot there. He just ran a 30.23 after putting in, 30.5s the last several laps. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Well, you had mentioned that Harris was closing the gap, so maybe he saw that on his relative too as well. As it is down under a second now, 9/10. Brad Harris closing that gap in actually fairly quickly here.
Yeah. But Jack's got to know that Dalton is a couple laps down here. Like, he doesn't have anything to gain by racing old Dalton. He's just let him go. Yeah, there you go. That's the trick. Now, Brad has caught him up, but right now, Dalton is in the 6th position. 2 laps down. I mean, honestly, let's see here. Brad was about half a second faster than Jack the last lap, but there was also all that mess going on with Dalton catching him back up, so we'll see. Now that all that has sorted itself out, we'll see what lap times are.
Harris has draft off Humbert now too as well.
Well, he's got draft, which might be helping him a little bit in the straights, but you can't really follow Jack in the corner. You got to run a different line. So, like he's doing here, right? This top line might be a little bit faster, but it is going to burn up more tire. Jack did run a faster lap. Or no, I'm sorry. No, he sure did. He did run a faster lap last time by. So maybe now that all the lap traffic has sorted itself out, maybe Jack can just settle back into his pace here.
Now, explain this for me, Stan, as I was always under the understanding that running the top line actually saved more tires. You're saying it actually uses more of the tire running the top?
Well, in this case that they're doing it, yes, it does. So they're not using the top lane to save tire. They're using the top lane to try to make better lap time. And to do that, they are pushing it hard on the top. This is one of those tracks where that works. So a lot of tracks you can run the top lane to save tire, but you can run the top to save tire here too. But the way Brad is running the top line, pushing really hard to try to stay with or catch Jack, that's not helping him any. If anything, that's going to be burning off his right sides.
Gotcha. So is it just mainly more or less because of the width of the track where Humbert's able to, use less steering angle to move from the bottom up to the top, where Harris is having to use a little more steering angle to stay off the top of the wall?
Really what it has to do with more is that Jack is just running slower on the bottom. He's covering the same distance, or he's covering less distance in the same amount of time by running the bottom, and he's running the car slower, using less tire doing it. Brad is really, really pushing it on the top. I mean, you're covering more distance, but he's trying to maximize that momentum, get that run off of two, stay with Jack, and that's working his tires pretty hard. You can see, I mean, he hasn't really made up much ground, if any, since Dalton made it by. Oh, Jack Humbert just touched the wall coming off the two right there.
Yeah, a couple sparks flying. Just gonna piss off the wrap guys in the garage more than anything.
Yeah, it's okay. They'll give him a new wrap next week.
That Motorcraft paint scheme's done him well. 64 machine. Every time I see 64, I always think it's the iRacing default number they seem to put on every car, and I don't know if there's some kind of reasoning why they do that. Somebody's favorite number, maybe it's Jim Cross's or Steve Meyer's favorite number that they use on all of them, but it's funny when you see somebody actually using it in a league where you can pick your own number. It's Jack Humbert taking that 64 machine to victory lane and potentially wrap up the championship.
Yeah, it is always kind of funny when you see people running the 64, and it's like, you went to all the trouble to like change the font, change the colors, and you stayed 64. So I guess that's easy for Jack. Every car he buys, the default number is 64. It's a win for him.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, great, I don't got to renumber any of my cars.
Yeah.
It looks like Brad Harris starting to fall back a little bit, as you mentioned. Possibly used up his equipment there, Stan, trying to run the high side to stay in touch with Jack Humbert now. Doesn't quite have the pace. 30.55 last time by for Harris to Humbert's 30.42, and that gap now up to 0.6. Oh, with a little rub of the wall.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I really think that Brad smelled blood in the water when he saw Dalton and Jack kind of racing each other there, and just turned it up a little too much.
Pick back up Dalton Moore. Had those fresher tires, able to get around. He's only been able to pull out, though, about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Jack Humbert. So I'm actually surprised. I thought he'd be able to run around and get at least a lap back here, Stan. But see those tires fall off really quickly after about, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe 6 laps or so. It seems like they really start to drop off.
Well, yeah, I mean, they will start to drop off in 10 laps or less if you're really, really pushing them. It takes no time for you to burn them up. And really, I mean, you might have tire life percentage, right? You might be able to look at your tires and see, oh, well, they're still at 97 or 98, but they get so hot when you're pushing them. Yeah, just, it's not good to push them if you don't have to.
Question for you. I believe I saw iRacing. There's an iRacing special event this week. Is it the Bristol 500? Is that what I saw come across? It seemed kind of odd that they run it on week 13, but do you have any intentions of running that at all?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Kind of just depends on what kind of time I've got. But yeah, it's actually, so NASCAR special events are really easy because they just follow NIS. The NIS NASCAR iRacing series, when they have their special events like the Southern 500 or the Daytona 500, Bristol, Brickyard 400, etc. They're just the normal NIS races for the week, and those run for the full season. Those run through week 13 and everything. So that's how they're able to do that. But yeah, I might run Bristol, maybe. I enjoy Bristol. I used to enjoy it a lot more in the old car, but I probably need to give it a chance in the next gen.
What was the old car? Was that the? It's essentially what they use for Xfinity now. Is that correct or?
Oh, we got another yellow, Rob. Something has happened.
I'm not seeing anything here.
Looks like. Not sure if. Oh, Bruce Velasquez spun exiting the pits. I believe that's going to be the cause of it.
Let's see here.
He hit that same bump that Dalton hit on the way out. And it just pitched his car around.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. You can still see Dalton's tire tracks.
Interesting, we got a yellow for that.
Yeah, it must have been just enough. It looked marginal for if it was going to be worthy of a yellow or not. Looks like pace car's passing Jack Humbert here. That was a weird one when all the leaders were coming by, trying to decide if you pass the pace car or carry on. Jack Humbert's going to come to pit road, take some fresh tires.
All right. Oh, looks like
Oliveira stays out.
Interesting strat here for Oliveira.
So there's a doomsday scenario here. That's really concerning me.
Let me have it.
When you spin your tires on a restart in the next gen car, especially somewhere like Charlotte, the car pitches to the right really hard. It spins and hooks to the right. Oliveira is going to be starting P1. Jack Humbert will be starting P2 immediately to his right. So Oliveira is going to have to be very, very careful with his tire spin, and Jack Humbert's going to have to be hyper aware of that tire spin.
Walker stayed out too as well, so actually Humbert's going to start behind Oliveira. Yeah.
Oh well, this is still going to be a problem because now you're going to have Humbert boxed in behind old tires. He just needs to be patient, right? Because right now, let's say the race ended as they run, Humbert in third, Moore in fifth. I think that would make Moore the champion. I think.
If they finish how they're running, yeah.
If they finish how they're running now.
We need a mathematician in the booth.
Yeah, I need somebody to double check me on that because I don't know the point spread, but Jack Humbert's really got to play this smart.
Quickly look and see here if I can find out what the points allocation is. Keep looking and see if I can. Okay, here we go. So points: 180 points for first, 170 for second. Where's Humbert right now? He's in third, so he would get 165 points. Or if he finishes where he is in fifth, would get 155 points. Actually, Dalton Moore would come out ahead by 10 points because he came into this one leading by 20 points. So Humbert needs to get one more position. I think the tiebreak would probably be wins, and I think Humbert would take it on that.
So there has to be at least two cars between him and Dalton Moore, basically. At any given time, wherever they finish, he needs two cars between them. Basically.
Yeah, because there's 10 points between first and second, then it's 5 points back from there, each position. So we've seen what kind of mega starts Jack Humbert's been able to get. Starting in the second row, he's obviously going to be hampered with that. Wonder what his move would be here, Stan. What would your move be?
I would very cautiously roll into the gas pedal on the restart. I would not be close to Oliveira. I would take it easy. I would leave a gap. And once we got back up to speed and the cars spread out a little bit, I would pass him then. We're coming to 13 to go. This could be the last restart. Oh boy, they're bunching up here. This makes me nervous. Oliveira, we're green. Really clean getaway.
Looks like Walker's going to go high. It's going to let Humbert underneath. Dalton
gosh,
Moore's
what's
right
going
there,
on?
though.
What happened to Hunter? Oh my gosh.
Dalton Moore is
All
there.
right.
They're door-to-door, Stan.
We've got us a race now.
The gloves are off. Dalton Moore, who hasn't really been much of a factor all race, gets up on the underside of Humbert. Humbert going to fight back on the top side here, but Oliveira and Brad Harris just up ahead of them, playing spoiler right now for Jack Humbert.
Yeah, you can see the tire difference for Oliveira.
It's 3
right
wide.
there. He gets swarmed in 2 there. Yeah, race is on now.
Right now, this would work out in Dalton Moore's favor, exactly where he needs to be. Even if he finishes right behind Jack Humbert, he'd still bring home the championship. Humbert needs to get around Harris and then have Harris be in the buffer between he and Moore.
Yeah, there's no saving going on now. There's no playing it smart. Jack Humbert's giving it everything he can. As Dalton Moore squeezes, they get in the wall.
Days of thunder action here now, Stan. Little Cole Trickle, Rowdy Burns action.
He really wanted that side draft on Humbert and just squeezed him all the way up to the wall there.
They are battling. I don't know where this pace came from Dalton Moore. He's been lagging all race, but looks like this, he got some Harry Hogg special staggered tires on that last pit stop, putting the pressure on.
Man, they are racing so hard, man. What this is doing is it's allowing Brad Harris to get away here. Humbert should, he gets tight. 3 and 4, Dalton Moore gets a big run. Oh, man, he completes the pass on Humbert here. What a change of events. This looked so dire for Dalton Moore early in the race. I couldn't see how Dalton Moore could come back from where he was. And now here he is in position. As he gets tied off of 2, Jack Humbert with the big run on the bottom.
Toe-to-toe, Stan, door-to-door. I just hope this doesn't end in tears before the checkered. That's all.
Yeah, man, that was a really unfortunate turn of events there for Humbert with the yellow coming out. Didn't quite catch where Dalton Moore got all the laps back. I guess he must have made them up.
I think he ended up being the first car lap down last yellow flag. Because Velasquez got his back the yellow before, so unfortunately he fell back down by spinning out of pit road.
Yeah, I guess he ended up back 1 lap down after he passed Humbert under green. As Humbert starts to make some time up here. But now we've got something interesting. Yeah, we're coming to 6. Oh, no, we're coming to 6 to go. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is not looking good for Humbert. Something dramatic is going to have to happen.
You never know. We could see more spin pushing so hard. You never know what might happen to him. Essentially, Humbert needs a 2-car buffer between he and Moore. Velasquez a lap down. He's going to get by, but
Velasquez is a lap down. 4 laps down, in fact. But
Oliveira fading quickly on those old tires, so 1.8 seconds back or more.
Yeah,
that's not going to help Humbert.
It's tough to imagine here. Tough to imagine how Jack's going to get this done now. Man, dominated the race. Really did everything right. Let's come back here.
Ooh. Heavy hit in the wall there for Moore. Gonna keep going though.
Yeah, can't do that. Can't be giving yourself a meatball or anything out here.
Imagine that, hitting a meatball with 5 laps left, losing the championship off that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Brad Harris though up front, showing some strong pace, albeit Humbert and Moore battled it out for about 5 laps once we started going green, but sounds like I'm hearing in chat Jack Humbert only took right side tires that last stop. Moore falling though 1.7 seconds back of Humbert. Doesn't need to pick up any more positions. Where he is right now should lock up the championship for him, but Jack Humbert has to continue to push as hard as he can. 3 to go, 1.8 seconds back. Doing what he can to try and close that gap down. Gonna run out of time though, Stan.
Yeah, we're coming to 2 to go here, and once we get a yellow, which I just don't see how. Man, what a run. I thought the whole night that it just goes to show, especially when you're racing in a league, in a championship format, anything can happen, man. I thought Humbert had really ran a really good race, and he did run a really good race, but here towards the end, Dalton Moore was able to come back as he takes the white flag here. One more lap, and that should make Dalton Moore the champion.
Yeah. They just have to sign the names on the scorecards here. If we were playing golf, Stan, to make it official. Brad Harris going to come through turn 3 and 4 to take the win.
Yeah, big win for Brad Harris. He started to build some speed there on Jack towards the end of the night, but the whole night it looked like Jack had it in the bag. So really, really tough day for Jack. Really unfortunate. I know he probably felt like he had the race win in the bag, and for a while there probably felt that he had the championship in the bag, and to lose both is that's a tough day, man.
Yeah, it's racing be like that. We just got confirmation from Aiden Andarza in chat. Dalton Moore has officially claimed the championship. So congrats to Dalton Moore. Jack Humbert, what could have been? Coming home second, I guess, in the end isn't too bad, Stan. That's exactly what you want in a league race. Is the championship come down to the last few laps of the last race of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you hope for, right? You hope that you race all season and that it stays close and comes down to the last race. But it's really, really great job from Dalton all season, really, to get in position to win this championship. That was great work from him.
He did it without his wingman this week in James Jimmy Johnson. His first race of the season that we covered, him and Johnson pretty much worked nose to tail throughout the race and were able to take the win this time, though. Doing it solo. So as I mentioned early on, WRL not going to have a Cup season or Cup League next season. They're going to focus on GT3 and Indy. I believe there is the potential that it will come back in the future, but as it stands right now, no Cup or left turn racing. A lot of the guys, though, starting their own league. They're calling it Tobacco Road Sim Racing. There's a link to their Discord in the description of the video here. So if you're looking to do left turn racing, oval racing, I believe they're doing Next Gen Series, and it's going to be 10 races for the season, and they're doing a special Clash race to start the season off. So if you're interested in that, find the information in the Discord. It looks like we've got our championship leader here, Stan Dalton, or championship winner, Dalton Moore, in the booth here.
Yeah, welcome, Dalton. That was, I got to be honest with you, most of the race I was pretty much just saying, I sure am having a hard time seeing how Dalton can come back and win the championship from where he is. And then you did it. What happened?
So, I was running a little hard at the beginning, burned my tires up and everything. But I was able to do some early pit stops that were unique, that's for sure. Hopefully to keep my position and everything. It was a really clean race through everybody, so I wasn't really hoping for too many cautions. I was just trying to get something out of the car. I'm notoriously bad for saving my tires because I just burn them off. That right front on that first pit stop was destroyed. But I channeled in my inner Lightning McQueen from my youngest. He told me to race the Lightning McQueen championship car, and he chose right.
So the championship win goes to the young fella here tonight, Dalton. Is there any point in the race where you started kind of feeling that maybe it was over, you didn't have a chance on this one? Or did you, were you feel, I wasn't sure if you're maybe feeling confident there was going to be a late yellow that you potentially could get a shot here, but tell us about that restart at the end. You got a mega restart, was able to jump right up there and go door to door with Humbert.
Well, luckily Jack wasn't up front, so I knew he wasn't gonna immediately run away with it. So I immediately knew I had a chance. I saw openings immediately and just pounced on them as much as I could. I did only take right side tires on that lucky dog pit stop. That way I could have a fighting chance at least. And got up to Jack's bumper, and we split ways, and then we were running side by side for the longest time. I did get a little tight coming out of 4 on one of the laps, and I think I sent him into the wall a little bit. That's on me. I didn't mean to do anything there. I was just trying to race as hard as I possibly could and just got a little too tight on that one. But I'm just glad Brad Harris had a good lead after me and Jack were fighting side by side for the longest time there.
Yeah, we saw the little door-to-door action on the wall, but congrats on the win. I understand there's no cup racing next season in WRL, so what are your plans to do some league racing or officials, or just going to take some time off?
So I got invited, luckily, to that tobacco league racing, so I'm ready to go on there, and me and James are going to run it back as a team on there. Have a little bit different numbers, but we still got each other's back. We'll get there.
Excellent stuff. Congrats on the championship win, Dalton. Well deserved, and best of luck to you next season going forward.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Take care. Looks like we got Jack Humbert in the booth here. I'm not sure if Jack wants to talk quickly about his race, or if he's just getting ready for, I believe they're doing some stewarding here after. But Jack, you kind of dominated this one early on. That last lap, or last yellow at the end, really tightened everything up. What were you thinking when you saw that yellow flag come out?
Yeah, the first one I was kind of glad to see, being right where I needed one for the pit stops and everything. But yeah, Dalton got lucked out there with the lucky dog both times. It was pretty cool for him. But the last pit stop, I took 2 tires thinking that, okay, I need to be, in front of Brad or try to get that spot, but there's 2 cars ahead of me that didn't pit, so I was stuck behind them, and then obviously Brad took 4, so he got around everybody and just kind of took off, and then Dalton and I both on the 2 tire strategy back there trying to go to bumper, and I think he knew, like, okay, he got by me, but as long as I'm right behind him, he's gonna be okay, and he was. So congratulations to him, and it was a good race all around. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we were trying to do some quick math in the booth here. We finally found what the points calculations were for each position, and we figured out you needed about a 2-car buffer between you for you to be able to bring home the win bring home the championship without having the win. So couldn't quite get it done. Next season, Jack, what are your plans here? Are you going to focus on another league, doing some racing? Or are you going to take some time off, or what's going on in your side of things?
Yeah, I'm in that tobacco road league that Christopher Toppings is starting up, and so I guess we'll be broadcasting there too. It'll be pretty fun. But yeah, now that they have the iRating and everything built into iRacing, maybe I'll focus on getting that up. Just so I have more to throw around in the sessions.
Yeah, Stan Hammond's in the booth here with me, was saying he's a 5K driver on most days in Ovalside, and he was saying that you'd probably give him a run for money in most of his top split races. So we definitely look forward to seeing that iRating climb for you. But best of luck next season, Jack. Fortunately, couldn't get this one done, but coming home second, I guess, ain't much to worry about in the end.
Yeah, Jack, I'm sorry. I blame myself because I was singing your praises all night, so I probably commentator cursed you. You were doing great.
I appreciate it. I felt like I was doing great. It was up I don't know how many seconds I was up the first half, but I felt pretty good, kind of taking off. And then the second half, I think Dalton is, when he was 2 laps down, or he got his lap back, and then he's riding my bumper like, oh, no, this is just gonna add drama to the whole situation. But he got by me, and then Brad was kind of closing up on me a little bit. was kind of doubting the situation, but then that caution came out and kind of threw everything up. So it was fun though.
Well, best of luck to you, Jack, and I suspect we'll see you towards the front end, sharp end of the field, all next season as we cover the other league too as well. So best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Take care. Lastly, let's bring in Aiden Dundarza if he's handy. We'll just kind of.
What's up?
Aiden,
I'm here.
Congrats on the great championship run. We saw some competitive races all throughout what we covered. I'll give you a quick moment here if you want to shout out WRL at all, what you guys got planned for next season going on, if anybody wants to join in, where they can find that information.
All right. So first of all, I want to thank you guys. You guys did a great job. I want to thank Christopher Toppings for bringing you guys on. The WRL Cup Series is stopping, but mainly because, I'll be honest, it takes a lot of time to run leagues. Anyone that's ever done it knows it. It takes a lot of time and dedication to make a truly good league. And I simply do not have that time anymore. I wish Christopher Toppings all the luck. If he needs any help, I'll be there to help him. But thanks to you guys. Thanks for a lot of the drivers. It's a shame a few small amount of people that can't use their brain properly sometimes have to kind of ruin what could have been a great season. But it is what it is. We'll be doing our GT3 series and our endurance league that Joseph Twanantui is hosting as well. So we're more like, we were always a road racing series more than oval. This was our first venture into oval racing. So all of the road racing in WRL is still going to remain the same as it's always been. Got a new schedule for GT3, new schedule for endurance and all that. So if you're looking to join, give WRL a follow on Instagram, TikTok. I think maybe, I don't know if we're on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. And the Discord links and all that are on there. You can find your way to WRL, or you could just DM me and I'll find a way to get you in the server. So once again, thank you guys, and hope you guys have some good fun in the other league, and good luck.
Excellent stuff, Aiden. Appreciate it. Best of luck to WRL next season. So that's going to pretty much do it here for us, Stan.
Hey, don't forget, Brad won the race. You gotta talk to Brad. Brad was there too.
Is Brad in here? Oh, hold on.
I'm right here.
He is in here. Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry about that, Brad. I quickly looked through the drivers in the chat there. I didn't see it. So, Brad, you were actually, I guess, the biggest beneficiary of that late race yellow. You managed to get yourself out right behind Jack Humbert for the restart. Managed to move around Guy Oliveira, and I believe David Walker were on the front row. Neither one of those drivers took tires. Do you have any kind of inkling that you might be able to get around them early, put a little buffer between yourself and Humbert and Moore as they battled it out and be able to pull away?
Yeah, once I saw Jack come off pit road, I was thinking he had taken 2 tires. And then when I found out the other drivers hadn't pitted, I wanted to be on the high side just to have the momentum coming off the turn. No, I appreciate racing with this league. Congrats to Dalton, and Jack's a heck of a racer. But I'll enjoy racing with him next year in the Tobacco Road. Excellent
stuff, Brad. And you should mention you're heading to the other league next season too as well. But we didn't see you much of the season to start the second half when we picked it up. Is it going to be more of a you're going to be able to there for 100% of the time going forward next season? I know summer's a little harder for some guys to get some time to race. They want to spend more time out touching actual grass.
Yeah, actually, I have raced several races this year, and I've been having a problem with my shifter going from sequential to H pattern, and I have wrecked a couple times up front, and that's just been my type of luck this year. But I've got that fixed, and I'm ready to go.
You would happen to have a Fanatec shifter, would you?
He does, Steve.
You are correct, sir.
Oh, buddy, I got rid of mine so fast.
Yeah. Yep. So it just gets loose, while you're running, especially if you're shifting a lot. And I don't run the Cup cars a lot. I'm more into the truck series on a Tuesday night. But running these Cup cars is, is tough, being behind guys in dirty air and all that. You just kind of have to adapt and overcome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, excellent stuff, Brad. Congrats on the win. We look forward to seeing you competitive next season with no shifter issues. Before Stan asked you, I knew it was a Fanatec shifter because Christopher Toppings had mentioned it to me before that you had that issue, and I said I know somebody else who had the exact same issue with a Fanatec shifter, and he quickly swapped it out for Sim Magic. So best of luck next season. And now Stan will officially sign her off for myself and Stan Hammond's in the booth with me. We'll call it a day. We'll see you next season over on the Tobacco Road side. Best of luck to WRL and their 2 leagues they got going, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now.
That was a fun one. Great job, guys. See ya.